Shalom. Call on my Bashim Shah Bashim Kakodash. Double honor to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone who still rule and teach well. Peace, bless, safety to the Lord's elect. This is Psalms chapter 16, verse 4. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. The time right now is 3:39 a.m. and I just had a dream. So I'm just gonna say what I remember. It was weird, It was weird because it was a group of brothers, Hebrew Israelites, and it was a group of Christians. And it was like a picnic. And it was this vivid dream. I've been having vivid dreams the last 2 days. It was like a picnic. It was like a picnic, and that brothers we don't congregate. Let me get that scripture. We don't necessarily congregate with Christians ever. But in this scenario, it was like a church picnic. People were serving food and shit like that. And for whatever reason, we was all together, okay? It's 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? So we know that, but this was what was happening in a dream. And we was all about to go out and teach. The Christians was about to go out and teach, and the Hebrew Israelites was about to go out and teach. And they casted a lot so that 2 people from the Christian side will go out with the Hebrew Israelites, and that 2 people from the Hebrew Israelites will go out with the Christians. And so the lot fell upon me to go out with the Christians. And so what happened was I really didn't want to fucking go. So while it was time to go, the one brother, he said he had to be back by 6:30 because he had to go. I forget what he said. He said he had to go do something. He said, I just got to be back by 6:30 because I got to go do something. So I said, okay, well, you should let them know that now. So that way, everything will be in place. So then, next thing I did was I went to go say shalom to the brothers, that I know. So I saw some brothers that I knew. They was sitting in the car. The brother that was in the back seat is a brother from Chicago, a Northern Kingdom brother. I hopped in the back seat with him. I saluted him. Yahbashim Shabrakatah. And the brother that was in the front seat was Mashal, and brother in my camp. I saluted him. Yahbashim Shabrakatah. And when I saluted the brother in the back seat, he couldn't fully say the salute. And I said, no sweat, brother. I said, you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? And then I told the brother Mashal, I said, remember when, the young brother who was on the other side of my camp, I said, remember when he could barely say the salute? And I said, every week he got better at saying the salute until he got it. And Mashal said, Khan. And so then I went to see the brother Kazak that I, is in my camp. Kazak, Gary, Indiana. That's what we call him, but he's originally from Cleveland. But he was out there with the brothers in Gary. And I went and talked to him. He was in a room. I went and talked to him. And I said, he recently the Lord just blessed him with a new car today. And I said, man, I need to start taking my car to the dealership when my shit start acting up. Because he took his car to the dealership and they gave him a whole new car. I said, I'll be going to this shop and that shop. I said, I need to start taking my car to the dealership. And then I said, man, I got to go out here with these fucking Christians, man. I said, Shalom. He said, Yahweh Mahar, be safe. I said, the water for that, be safe. And he didn't hear what I said. He said, what? I said, the water for that, be safe, because the spirit ain't with these people. And so then I said, that's why I'm really lingering. I said, I really don't want to go. That's why I'm lingering. So then when I leave out the house or the building, wherever we was at, I went into like this backyard. And it looked like everybody had left. There was only about 5 or 6 people back there. And the garage door was open, and there was somebody sitting in the garage. There was a woman in the garage, and there was a man standing in front of the garage, 2 men standing in front of the garage. So I don't really know what's going on. I go outside. I said, y'all, did everybody already leave? And they said, yeah, a lot of people left. They said, but the people that you're supposed to leave with, they still here. So I'm like, all right. So then as I get closer to the garage, like I said, I don't know what's going on. As I get closer to the garage, I realize that something might be wrong because one person is on the phone. And it's like, he sounds like he's on the phone with 911. And there's a lady standing right there. And then I look at the lady, and she looked kind of like crazy. She's just standing there staring. Then another lady is standing next to her staring. So, I mean, getting to the point now. And I really wasn't going to do no lesson on this, but the spirit woke me out of my sleep screaming. Not because I was in any danger in a dream, but I guess because of the emotion that the person, I don't know. Okay. So in the dream, as I'm walking in near the garage, it's a basketball hoop in the backyard. I go towards the basketball hoop to make like a fake dunk. And then I hear the person on the phone say, yeah, I just need 911 because somebody is stabbed. Somebody is stabbed. So I said, what the fuck is going on? So then I look, and there's a young boy on the ground with a stab wound to the neck, bleeding from the neck. And I said, what the fuck happened? They said, yeah, the woman, her young daughter, stabbed her brother. But the mother is basically trying to justify the young girl stabbing her brother. And so the dude was like, well, the police is on their way, this and that, woo-de-woo. And I said, so I just start going crazy. I just start cussing their ass out. I said, see, this is what the fuck happened when you fucking worshiping that fucking Jesus juice. I said, that fucking Jesus juice, y'all motherfuckers calling on Jesus. I said, let me get the fuck away from you fucking demons. And I start walking down the driveway. And then as soon as I turned around, I was cussing. Like I said, I kept cussing their ass out, kept cussing out Jesus, rebuking their ass for calling on that name and all of that. I said, this is why this shit happened. And then as soon as when I turned around to, because I walked down the driveway, and I turned around and I seen the mother pick up the knife, and the mother started wielding the knife at the dude who was calling 911. But the motion that she did, it was like, like she like kind of, I don't know how to describe it. When somebody tried to stab somebody, but they start with their arm up and they work their way down. But her arm was like extra long when she did it. It was like weird. It was like a demon. You know what I'm saying? And I said, let me get the fuck away from you demons. And I turned around and she slashed at the dude who was trying to call 911. He jumped back. And for some reason, like I said, that's when I woke up. And I kind of like yelled, like, And that's when I woke up. And I say all that to say this, man. It's Sirach chapter 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Like I said, man, you Christians, you continuously call on Jesus Christ, man. That name is gonna get you nowhere. The IUIC, you constantly calling on that name, man. That name is not gonna do nothing but you basically summoning demons, man. You're summoning demons every time you call on that name. And it was like a stark contrast that day between the brothers and the Christians. They was all disorganized. Even at the picnic, they was all disorganized and Everybody's all over the place. The women's all over the place. And the brothers was kind of like just in a more calm, chill spirit. It's Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4. Who have ascended up into heaven or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? It's Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10. The name of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. And I really cherished when the brother told me, Yahweh Mahar, be safe. I've cherished that because Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Mahar. Mahar means speed. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, speed. Godspeed. They say Godspeed. And scriptures say Godspeed. Come on. I know it's in here. Second John chapter 1, verse 10. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. And like I said, that was a weird dream, because in the dream, the Lord had it where the Hebrew Israelites was there and the Christians was there, you know. And the Christians and they side ended in murder, and the brothers was good. You know, the brothers is good, but motherfuckers getting murdered over there. The little girl, the young woman, she wasn't a girl. She was a young woman, probably about 12, 13. She stabbed her brother, who looked to be about 10, 11. She stabbed him in the neck. And then the demonic mother is trying to justify the daughter. You know, the daughter's trying to justify herself, talking about he came at me and this and that. And what was I supposed to do and this and that. I said, you fucking demon. I said, you weren't supposed to pick up a fucking knife. I said, this is what y'all get for calling on that fucking Jesus juice. That's what I kept saying, Jesus juice. Because our people are drunk off of that Jesus juice, man. Let me see this real quick, man. This is Isaiah 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. And the reason why you're drunk, but not with wine, is because you're drunk off of the philosophies of the so-called white man. White Jesus. The love of white Jesus. But when white Jesus was given to you, you was in chains getting your ass whooped. Your mother was getting lynched. Your father was getting lynched. Your mother was getting raped. Your father was getting lynched. That's how you receive Jesus, man. Fuck. And like I said, in the dream, I wasn't in any real danger, but when she made that motion to stab the dude, her arm stretched. Like, if you ever seen Space Jam and how Space Jam and Michael Jordan at the last scene when he was going for the dunk, his arm stretched to reach the rim. Her arm stretched like that to go to stab the dude that was standing in front of her. But the spirit had me walk down the driveway because I already knew what was about to happen. The dude who was on calling 911 was acting like the situation was under control. I knew that that person had a legion of demons on them, and any one of us, they could have came at next. The scripture say, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Let me see. This is Job. This is the last one. This is Job chapter 7, verse 14. It says, verse 13, when I say my bed shall comfort me, my couch shall ease my complaint, then thou scarest me with dreams and terrifiest me through visions. Like I said, I woke up out of my sleep. I yelled like, oh, and I woke up, you know. And that's probably the only reason why I did this video, because it was so vivid. You know what I'm saying? I remember everything. It's stuff that I remember that I didn't mention, you know, that happened before the point that I started from, you know. But those things weren't really relevant, you know what I'm saying? Those things weren't really, spiritual or important. But I remember all of it. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Job 7:14, then thou scarest me with dreams and terrifiest me through visions, so that my soul chooses strangling and death rather than my life. The Lord was sending Job in visions, man. Job didn't want to be on earth, man. But more sorrow, more death is going to befall you Christians, man. More spirits that are created for vengeance is going to be out here. As a matter of fucking fact, yo. Yesterday, I just realized this yesterday. I went to go cut a family member's yard. That's all I'm going to say. I went to go cut a family member's yard, right? And my younger family member came home from school. Apparently, she cussed out a teacher. So her mother was cussing her out to discipline her. Took her phone, this and that, whoop-de-woo. My little cousin ran out the house with no shoes on. This is a little young woman, about 13 years old. Ran out the house with no shoes on, ran all the way down the street crying and shit, acting like basically she getting abused in this house, right? So I have to go, my family member asked me to go retrieve her. My other little cousin is down there. He trying to get her. He can't get her. So I drive down there. I convince her to come back to the house, right? Somehow I get sucked into this situation. I don't even want to fucking be there. Somehow I get sucked into this, this heart-to-heart family council, man. And my little cousin is telling me, or telling everybody there, I don't give a fuck. They're not going to see this video. She's telling her mother how she hates her life and how she cuts herself and all of this. And that's why you found the knife in my room, because I'm cutting myself because I feel like nothing and this and that. I'm sitting here like this. You got a fucking legion of demons on you. And this is the problem. My cousin, they got her on, what do you call it? Prescriptions, man. Them prescriptions don't do nothing but put demons on you, man. That open you up to the spirit world, man. That's witchcraft, pharmakia, man. Now, like I said, I'm just putting this out there just in case anything happens. She said she don't feel safe around her mother and this and that. It's really modern teenage bullshit, man. They don't want to be fucking disciplined. They don't want to get their ass whooped when they act out, but they want to keep acting out. But yeah, I just remembered that detail, that there was a knife in her room, and she's about the same age as the woman in the dream, and my other little, So I just want to throw that out there, yo. But I say all that to say this: and my family member, yes, she's a Jesus freak. Yes, she's a Jesus head. Yes, she refuses to let go of white Jesus. You see, but she don't even know how to. White Jesus couldn't tell her how to raise her daughter to keep her from going insane in the membrane. So you people who keep going after Jesus, man, and your daughter or your son might just smite you, man. Okay, because all you doing is inviting demons into they house, into their vessel. Let me see. This is St. Matthew chapter 10. St. Matthew chapter 10. In verse 34, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. The man's foe shall be there of his own household. I told all my family members about the truth in one way, shape, form, or fashion. Even if I didn't tell them, they see what I'm doing. They see how I changed my life. They see what I do every single Saturday. They see I don't put nothing before it. That should be enough for our family members to inquire of the Lord. They don't want to, so they're going to suffer the consequence. But this was supposed to be a dream testimony, and Lord will know it's edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, Chom Yashua, Shalom.